All right, we've been teasing it for a long time. Horns up, Talkin Texas, Fisher Tosopoulos, DJ, Nikki, Snacks, Kreider. It's been teased. We haven't done something like this in the history of the show. We've had former Texas players on, we've had current Texas players on, but we've never had a potential Texas player on, a recruit, a 5-star, 6'2" in high school. Might be getting bigger, which is crazy. 6'2" out of Conroe, Texas. DB Dorian Brew joining the show. Dorian, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Congrats, first of all, on all the amazing offers and great high school career you've had so far. 5-star in 2025 class. So your junior still got one more year of high school, which is great. Your final five, you had Oregon, Penn State, Michigan, the Ohio State, and what some people are saying is the greatest university in the history of the universe, the University of Texas at Austin. We'd love to hear, we'd love to, unbiasedly, of course, we'd love to hear, though, from you. And we could start with the Longhorns, then all the other schools. What's been your favorite bit of each school, favorite thing you've seen? What's drawn you to each of those schools most? And maybe what's one thing that surprised you at each of those schools in a positive way?
Um, for Texas, getting to know the coaches, Coach Gideon and Coach Joseph, and like recently, getting to know Coach Sark. He's a pretty good guy. He's pretty high on me, and I was born and raised in Houston before I went to Ohio. So it's been a dream to play, at Texas, to represent my state.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely. Is there any? What about the other schools? Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oregon. Really quickly, just out of curiosity, so our listeners can hear what like the big draw for a recruit is there.
No, Ohio State, of course. I lived in Ohio for around like 6-7 years. They were one of the first schools to start recruiting me. They've been consistent through the process. I visit there numerous times, numerous game visits. The relationship that I built with the coaches there, is strong. I like what they stand for. I like where they're going. I like what they're doing. Um, and Michigan, they just won the national championship.
That'll do it. That's reason enough.
They did. They won the national championship. Have a great relationship with the DB coach there. I have a friend that actually went to my high school in Ohio. His name is Rod Moore, number 9, starting safety there. So, that's kind of cool. So like I know that he can develop me. Coach Klink from Michigan can develop me. Seeing how Rod coming out of high school into now where he is now. So that's pretty cool.
How much of the like potential of Harbaugh leaving, does that affect your decision whatsoever? Like, do you feel like if he's gone, it might take a step down for the university, or does it not matter at all?
No, I don't think it really matters. For me, I feel like it's always going to be a strong program, and yeah.
How about from the University of Texas standpoint? How much has it impacted your decision with Texas making a jump this year? There's always been a lot of the recruits. Hey, like, are you going to be a part of the program that Texas is back? Well, knock on wood, it looks like Texas is actually back. So, all right, how much of that goes into your decision with Texas being back, heading to the college football playoff, going to play SEC football as opposed to Big 12 football, upping the competition, and how strong things are and how strong our coaching staff has really become?
When I first got the offer, I wanted to really see like what they did the upcoming season, and they had a great season, and it was one play away from making it to the national championship game. I love what the DBs did this year too. Coach Gideon, Coach Joseph, they do good jobs at developing and getting the corners and DBs right and ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any players on the team that you've spoken to that have been helpful in your recruiting process, giving information about the team, what it's like to play there?
No, unfortunately, I haven't really met a lot of players on the team yet. But Coach Gideon, Coach Joseph, they told me like, hey, we got to get you around the players, so you can get a better feel for the team.
Yeah, you just had a visit this past weekend, right? How'd it go?
And it went well. Got to sit down with Coach Sark. Coach Gideon was with me and my mom. The whole time. So that was pretty good. That was pretty nice.
Did he eat good? Any good restaurants you go to in Austin?
Nah, we had there was a wing place that
Pluggers.
who I'm pretty sure that's the place. They have pretty good wings at the visit. So yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
it's a
Sark does
business
like
trip, though, you know?
he does like a weekly radio show from there. It's like a pretty popular spot on campus. They always used to give out like five free wing coupons, like during basketball games. They would like drop them from the rafters, like when we would hit a certain amount of points or something. So it's definitely a staple to Longhorns that you'll learn about.
Oh yeah, you would go to the games and you would come out and you would have like 50 of the free things, and you would try to get like 100 free wings, and they're like, all right, you could only apply this coupon once per an order. You can't have like 100 free wings because you caught all this stuff from the rafters. Overall, in your recruiting process, what's been the best part and maybe the most challenging part?
The best part is probably going out to see the schools, exploring the different schools, the different states, seeing what they had to offer. And probably the hardest would be like narrowing the schools down to a certain amount of schools. That's pretty hard because there's a lot of good schools out there, but I only can go to one, I only can choose one.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been kind of has it been interesting to like talk to other players in the class, and see kind of like where their heads at? Because I know that like with our most recent classes that have come in and out, some of the guys have been really vocal about getting together, and then also doing content together on Instagram Live or on TikTok, or just communicating just to kind of create like a brotherhood in a sense. So have you been vocal with a lot of the guys in your class?
Some of, not a lot. Some guys are trying to recruit me to go commit to their school, things like that. So yeah, I talked to a few of them, a few other guys in my class.
Yeah, I'm sure as those All-American games, roll in and out, like you probably those guys a lot more and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd. Sorry.
No, it's all good. With how much change there is on some of the schools that are recruiting you from a coaching staff standpoint, and also guys hitting the portal now and going to other places, new opportunities are arising, and at every different school that's recruiting you, but also some of the coaching staffs are changing. In high school, were there some of your coaches and some of your family that was like, here's how we need to be plugged in to know what's going on in college football, maybe more so now than it used to be, so that we're up to speed on everything? Like, has that been a part of your experience where you feel like you need to be on the top of your info as you're getting recruited?
Yeah. I don't want to go to a place, like I'm big on relationships with coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't want to go to a school and then first like that has a new hire, I don't really know the guy, especially like a new DB coach. I play DB. So I'm big on getting to know the coaches, things like that. So when I get up there, I have the best chance at, playing, getting developed, and I have a great relationship with the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there anything about Coach Gideon specifically? Because I know you've mentioned him a few times, has been the biggest recruiter for you from our standpoint. Like, what specifically has drawn you into him?
He's a pretty cool guy. He came up to my school, him and Coach Sark on Friday. He was talking a little bit of football, but we had like a lot of other things in common outside of football, such as like hunting, things like that. So, knowing that he has an interest outside of football, is pretty fun and important too.
And he's a former player himself too. So I mean, he's definitely got a lot of wealth of knowledge to pass along about just being in that locker room and what it's like. And as they say, Texas used to be DBU, and I think he's kind of put in charge of rebuilding what DBU used to be. I mean, if you look at the past history of guys that have played in the league, I mean, early 2000s and like the mid 2000s, so many. But I think we've just been itching to get better talent in the door, and so. I think we're in good hands with Gideon, so I'm glad that you've got an opportunity to talk to him.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff outside of football, I'm glad you brought that up. Or are there anything that you're seeing at these schools like outside of the football that you're really enjoying?
Probably like the education
Mhm.
or like the networking. You know, find like an internship or something like
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
And then that can potentially, help you get a job after football. So that's important for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then speaking of networking, some pretty cool actors on the Texas sideline that you can network with at games. So I don't know if you see that Mr. McConaughey is always there, so that's always a fun networking
Yeah.
thing.
And you also got the Undertaker if you're a wrestling
Yeah.
fan.
I mean, that's probably the coolest selling point we have as a university is the Undertaker. Who are some corners you model your game after? Some DBs you like in the league? Maybe it could be in pros, it could be in college right now.
I kind of I always like to say like I like to model my game after like Sauce.
Mm.
Mhm.
He's a pretty aggressive, likes to get hands on type corner. He's longer, I'm longer. I'm 6'2". We both have size, and we can run, with anybody too. We got the speed to keep up with anybody.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your background, playing hoops, and also just both your parents, being sprinters, and obviously I think anyone that has sprinted in high school or in college, a lot of times you don't get that training right until you're late in middle school or early in high school. But I imagine you got some of that technique really, really early trained to you.
Uh,
No,
Maybe a little bit.
a little bit.
My parents, they never like forced the track scene on me. Really, they wanted me to like, make my own path.
Yeah. Do you feel like, though, yourself having ran in high school and putting up some pretty good numbers, and then eventually learn that technique and also playing basketball where footwork comes into play has helped you play corner and play DB in high school and potentially will benefit you going forward in your career?
Yeah, I feel like that has benefited me a lot. Like me and my DB coach at my school at Conroe, we was just talking about it's just like basketball. Playing, especially like playing defense on basketball. Like we were outside like working press work, working like on the kick step. He was like, that's basically shuffling and cutting the guy off basketball. And then the track part, that helps with speed too on the field. So
Is there any part of your game that you're looking forward to like working once you get to school?
no,
You just flawless.
I would have said off man. We don't really play a lot of off men here. Like we're a lot like our guys can cover really well, like off press at Conroe. So we're more of a um, press type team. We like to get up, get physical with the receivers. So I like probably would work on my off man.
Mm.
And just learning like from press, like learning as many techniques as I can. Like it's different techniques that you can use. Just like Coach Joseph was saying, like making my toolbox deep.
Mm.
I can try out this like one technique, one play, and then do another one, to see which one is best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Switching gears a little bit to like off the field. If there was any brand out there in the world that you could, be the face of, because I know NIL is such big talk of discussion these days. What would like be the brand that you would want to be the face of?
What kind of brand? Like
That's up to you, man. I mean, it could be like Call of
Dealer-
Duty, it could be
dealer's
Fortnite,
choice.
it could be
I'll say probably like I like cars. Like I'm really big on cars. So like especially like Dodge type cars. Like
it's like a big truck.
nah, I like the muscle cars. Like
Oh, okay.
my dad, my grandpa, growing up all around all that. Like my dad's side of the family, they're like engineers, so they like building things, fixing things. My dad and my grandpa, they built a Barracuda, from scratch, from ground
wow.
up, and
My
they
stepdad's doing that right now.
yeah,
He's building the exact same car right now.
that's crazy. Yeah, so he they drag raced it, they raced it and all that. So that was pretty cool.
Can you
And
drive stick?
no, that's something I do want to learn to drive stick.
Yeah, it's a lost art, I feel like.
Yeah. So I'm like really big on cars and like that. Like I love cars. So yeah.
F1 capital of America, baby. Austin, Texas is a good scene for cars as well. And like a lot of the other schools have good stables for that.
What's one restaurant that you feel like every campus should have? If you step on campus and you're like, okay, I need to have this no matter what.
See, I like Cane's, but I wouldn't really say that's like a restaurant. Like that's kind of like a fast food type area.
Well, you're in luck.
It counts.
We have a Cane's in Austin, right by campus, right across the street from Chick-fil-A as well. So
when you're in school, like fast food counts as a restaurant, bro. 100% when you're in college. It counted for sure, dude. Wendy's counted for sure. What's your warm-up song?
I don't really have a specific song that I
maybe an artist.
To. I kind of like a lot of like NBA YoungBoy.
I feel you.
The type of like the aggressive type like rap that he uses like helps me get stay aggressive, and football is aggressive sport, so you got to get in that mode. So I feel like that gets me in my mode and listen to his music.
100%. What do you, and you're looking in a school, how much does like the other athletic programs have to play into it? Because like looking at like basketball schools that are good, that don't necessarily have the best program, but they bring in a lot of recruits. Does it matter to have a all well-rounded athletic program to you feel like?
Yes, that's important for me too. I mean, the football, is strong. Basketball is strong. The track team strong. I feel like that attracts more attention to the school for either sport, knowing that like each sport is doing pretty good.
Right. And they always say winning is contagious, right? So, you get a little taste of victory in one sport, the other team's kind of trying to feel that.
When it rains, it pours. Is there any like thought like filtered in and trickled into the recruiting process for like you or any of the guys you've spoken to about the transfer portal? Because you're not as beholden to one school anymore. Or are you guys really just one track minded? Like, hey, look, this is the school I want to spend 4 years there. I'm not going to look to transfer if I don't get the playing time right away.
I'm not the type of guy that wants to commit to a school, then decommit to the school, and then choose another school, or wants to transfer out. But some things happen, like coach changes. Position coach might leave, go to another school, and the new coach that gets there, like you don't really see eye to eye with the coach. So that's kind of like a hard part for some guys. Like they want to stay, but they had to do what's best for them too.
Yeah, sure. And that's the best part of like the player empowerment era. Like it used to be coaches can just leave at the drop of a hat, but the players would have to sit out a year. And there is a beauty into players being able to follow certain coaches. Like we're seeing it right now with guys coming from Washington to Bama, guys going from Arizona to Washington, and that whole circle that's going around. Like they're following the coaches that are helping make them great. So it's good to hear that you were attaching yourselves and surrounding yourselves with, they always say surround yourself with the right people. And it kind of goes into the football sense, like surround yourself with the right coaches. That'll make you better. So it's good that a lot of these coaches, not just from the school that we represent, but from Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon and Penn State are really connecting with you. That's awesome. We always ask everybody this. Now you're going to get a lot more coming up in your career, hopefully. But what is your favorite sports memory so far? Could be from you watching, playing, anything.
I probably would say like Odell's catch, the one-handed catch. Like that was one of my favorite athletes growing up, and it's pretty cool. My mom and my dad are pretty close with his stepdad, so I got a signed autographed jersey from him when I was like in 7th grade. So that was pretty cool.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
sweet.
Cool.
I mean, that's the greatest catch of all time, hands
Yeah.
down.
Is it a Giants jersey or LSU?
Giants jersey.
Nice. So
Yep.
fresh from the catch. Awesome, man. Well, Dorian, thank you so much. Obviously, with whatever decision you make, man, best of luck. We're rooting for you through and through. Go have a blast in college, have a blast playing, and we're going to be really excited to watch your career grow and enjoy the rest of your high school career too, man. Best to you.
Thank
Of course, man. Fisher Tosopoulos, the DJ himself, Snacks Crider, Dorian Brew from Conroe, Texas, 5-star. Be on the lookout for him. He's going to do big things in the college football scene coming up. We'll see you guys next time. Get your horns up.
Yes, sir.